Chapter 31. Back at George's school, the pupils in the hall were getting restless and bored. Kids were shifting around in their seats, whispering and giggling as a series of nervous, solemn-faced competitors from the different schools battled to gain their attention. However, no one was more agitated or jumpy than Dr. Reaper, who was sitting in the front row with the principal and other judges. "Sit still, Reaper. Good heavens, man," hissed the principal out of the side of his mouth. He was feeling very irritated with Dr. Reaper for behaving so badly in front of the teachers and principals from the other schools. So far, he hadn't bothered to listen to any of the presentations and hadn't asked a single question. All he had done was anxiously check the order in his program and crane his neck around to look at the hallway behind him. "I'll just go and make sure George is up to speed with his speech," Reaper whispered back to the principal. "You will not," spluttered the principal. "George will do perfectly well without you. Try and show some interest, would you? You're letting the school down." The boy on stage finished his speech on dinosaur remains. "So that," he concluded brightly to his tired audience, "is how we know that dinosaurs first walked the earth 230 million years ago." The teachers dutifully clapped as he clambered down from the stage and went back to join his school group. The principal stood up, and now, he said, reading from his notes, "We have our last contestant, our own George Greenby, from this very school. Can we give a big welcome to George, whose topic today is—" The principal paused and read his notes again. No, that's not correct," said Dr. Reaper hurriedly. He stood up. "George's talk will be on the subject of Cosmos, the world's most amazing computer, and how he works. Hooray for George," he cheered, but no one joined in. Then a long silence followed as everyone waited for George to appear. When he didn't, the noise level in the room rose as the kids, sensing the prospect of a swift end to the school day, rumbled with excitement. The principal looked at his watch. "I'll give him 2 minutes," he said to the other judges. "If he hasn't shown up by then, he'll be disqualified, and we'll get on with the prizes." Just like the pupils, the principal was thinking how nice it would be to go home early for once, so he could put up his feet with no pesky kids getting in his way. The clock ticked, but still there was no sign of George. With just seconds to go, the principal turned to the judge and was about to announce the competition closed, when a flurry of activity at the back of the hall caught his attention. A group of people seemed to have come in. 2 adults, one with a laptop computer under his arm, a blonde girl, and a boy. The boy ran straight up to the front of the hall and said, "Sir, am I still in time?" "Yes, George," said the principal, relieved that he had shown up after all. "Get yourself onto the stage. Good luck. We're relying on you." George climbed onto the big school stage and stood right in the very middle. "Hello, everyone," he said in a thin voice. The crowds in the hall ignored him and carried on pushing and pulling and pinching each other. "Hello," George tried again. For a moment he felt sick with nerves and very foolish, standing there by himself, but then he remembered what Eric had said to him in the car on the way there, and he felt more confident. He pulled himself up straight, threw his arms out to either side, and yelled, "Good afternoon, Alderbash School." The kids in the audience fell silent in surprise. "I said," bellowed George again, "Good afternoon, Alderbash School." "Good afternoon, George," the room shouted back at him. "Can you hear me at the back?" asked George in a loud voice. Leaning on the wall at the back of the hall, Eric gave him a thumbs up. "My name," continued George, "is George Greenby, and I am here to give a talk. The title of my talk is My Secret Key to the Universe." "No!" cried Dr. Reaper, jumping out of his seat. "That's wrong." "Hush!" said the principal angrily. "I'm leaving," said Dr. Reaper in a furious temper. He tried to storm out of the hall, but got halfway down the center aisle when he saw Eric standing at the back. Eric gave him a little wave, smiled, and patted Cosmos, whom he was carrying under his arm. Reaper turned a shade of light green and slunk back to his seat at the front, where he sat down quietly once more. "You see," George carried on, "I've been really lucky. I found a secret key that's unlocked the universe for me. Because of this secret key, I've been able to find out all sorts of things about the universe around us. So I thought I'd share some of the stuff I learned with you, because it's all about where we came from, what made us, what made our planet, our solar system, our galaxy, our universe. And it's about our future. Where are we going, and what do we need to do to survive centuries into the future? I wanted to tell you about it because science is really important. Without it, we don't understand anything. So how can we get anything right or make any good decisions? Some people think science is boring. Some people think it's dangerous. And if we get interested in science and learn about it and use it properly, then maybe it is those things. But if you try and understand it, it's fascinating, and it matters to us and the future of our planet. Everyone was listening to George now. When he stopped talking, there was complete silence. He started again. Billions of years ago, there were clouds of gas and dust wandering in outer space. At first, these clouds were very spread out and scattered, but over time, gravity helping, they started to shrink and become denser and denser. All right, now we're going to take a look at some of the fun facts on page 286 about Earth. Earth is the third closest planet to the Sun. Its average distance to the Sun is 93 million miles, or 149.6 million kilometers. A total of 70.8% of the surface of Earth is covered with liquid water, and the rest is divided into 7 continents. These are Asia, which is 29.5% of the land surface of the Earth, Africa, which is 20.5%, North America, which is 16.5%, South America, which is 12%, Antarctica, which is 9%, Europe, which is 7%, and Australia, which is 5%. This definition of continents is mostly cultural since, for instance, no water expanse divides Asia from Europe. Geographically, there are only 4 continents that are not separated by water: Eurasia, Africa, which is 57% of the land surface, Americas, which is 28.5%, Antarctica, which is 9%, and Australia, which is 5%. The remaining 0.5% is made up of islands, mostly scattered within Oceania in the Central and South Pacific. A day on Earth is divided into 24 hours, but in fact it takes Earth 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4 seconds to rotate around itself. There is a 3-minute and 56-second mismatch. Over a year, this adds up to the 1 turn the Earth makes by going around its orbit. An Earth year is the time it takes for the Earth to complete 1 revolution around the Sun. It may vary slightly over time, but remains about 365.25 days. So far, the Earth is the only known planet in the universe to harbor life. The surface of Earth is 316,954,764 square miles, and at the diameter at the equator, it's 7,926 miles.